What's going on, guys? How are we doing tonight? I did not mean to come to this. We're going to switch screens really quick. Stand by. Mute this. Bang. Get that out of here. Bang. Oh, no, we'll just go back. Let's go back to this. But yeah, what's going on, everybody? We're doing some card reveal ranking tier list things, right? We did this last set. I thought it was a lot of fun. It seemed like you guys had some fun doing it. And it was kind of cool just to run through all the cards with you guys. I thought that was a lot of fun. When I first started doing these tier list ranking things, I did them as YouTube videos, and it was just it wasn't as fun doing it by myself. And so doing it with you guys and getting your guys' opinions, and maybe there's some synergies that I don't think about. Definitely makes it more enjoyable this way. So yeah, we're gonna run through the cards. These are gonna be, we'll run through the cards. So it's all gonna be day one cards, pretty much. So I'm using the Lorcana, and I know the screen's not good because it's sized to Canva, but I'm using the new Winterspell card gallery. To do this. And so how they do the card gallery is they update it at the end of each day. So this is going to be all of the day one reveals, or cards that came out before day one. That doesn't make much sense, but we're going to call the lore cast on Tuesday day one. So pretty much what's going to happen is I'll grab a card from in here, we'll copy it, we'll paste it. In this case, the first card is Stitch, and then we'll move it here, and then we'll move it into position once we're done talking about it. And that's kind of the plan. That's what we're going to do with this shindig. So I think it's gonna be fun. I think it's gonna be a good time. I want to know your guys' opinion on cards, if I'm way off, in left field or not. But yeah, what'd you guys think of today's lorecast? It was exciting. It was fun. We saw a lot of good cards. Not going to be talking about those today, really, but a lot of events that were talked about also, which I was super excited about. Seeing all these events and seeing them announced so far ahead of time is like a breath of fresh air, because we didn't really that's not something that's been happening, right? The events have kind of been. There hasn't been a lot of notice for a lot of the events, really. So being able to see the events so far out is really exciting. We already have some guys. Vince already bought tickets for the ETB event, which is going to be an Infinity main event. We got the CCQ in Gen Con. We've got, so in Indianapolis, we've got the CCQ at Ink Inc., which is something I assume would be turning into a CCQ, just because of how well done the event is. So yeah, 2 CCQs in Canada, with the ETB one and the one in Calgary. So yeah, just a couple big announcements today, it was pretty exciting and pretty cool to see. I'm glad that it seems like they're done playing catch up and they're actually working ahead now, which I hope is the case, right? I hope that's the case with the CCQs and everything, and they have a plan and a schedule kind of thing. And yeah, one can hope, right? But it seems like that's where we're headed, and that's exciting. So I don't know who took the reins or who maybe put things in motion to finally get on the same page, but it's happening, and I'm here for that. So I hope you guys feel the same way, because I think it's more than just like reveal season hype. I think they're just doing a good job. So, all right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Should we get started with the first card? I think we shall. I think it's a good size. I think all of you guys can see it. The first card up is my boy Stitch. All right, so Stitch is a 5-cost inkable 4/5/2. For those that are maybe new to that kind of verbiage, 4/5/2 simply means 4 attack, 5 willpower, quests for 2. That's going to be 2 lore, right? That's down here for anyone that might be new to Lorcana. The effect of Stitch Carefree Snowboarder is whenever this character quests, if you have 2 or more characters in play, you may draw a card. So this is a smaller Stitch Surfer. So I'm a big fan of that. I really like that idea. Stitch Surfer, of course, being an interplay effect. So that does make it quite a bit stronger than the Stitch Snowboarder, of course, because you have to quest, right? And that can be more difficult. Now, 4/5 isn't an easy thing to get rid of, right? It does quest well. It's a good body. I joked around with S tier, a lot of that. In my Instagram post when I posted this, if you guys hadn't seen it, it's kind of like a play on who's that Pokemon, right? And I'm doing with Rate That Lorcana card, and I put a thing on there that it's S tier, and in the post I talked about in a more realistic world what I think this card actually sits at. And if it entered the battlefield, I think that you could reliably consider this an A tier card, but the fact that it has to quest, I think, puts it down to at least a B. I think C is. I see this notification as I'm leaving Born to Game. What were you doing at Born to Game tonight? What happens on Thursdays at Born to Game? But I'm gonna put, for me, Stitch is a B tier card. I think it's one of those things where it is a good body still. It's a 5-cost. If you're running a Lantern deck, it's draw. A lot of these Amber decks, draw is one of the downfalls of the deck. They just run out of juice. They run out of power. So now you have Stitch Carefree Snowboarder that is questing for 2. It has a good body. Anything that's challenging into it, most things that are challenging into it are also getting banished at the same time. And it's questing for 2, and you get to draw a card when it does quest. And to prevent it from questing, they're going to have to do a lot of things, right? They could play Demona, they could play 5-cost Elsa, they could play Let It Go. They have to have 5 characters to strength it, and that requires a lot of things. So most likely you are drawing a card off of Stitch, you're questing for 2, and I think that definitely merits at least B tier for Stitch Carefree Surfer. I think it's a card that will most likely see play. So, but yeah, that's our first one. So next up, we've got our boy Timon here. Timon is an interesting one. I think Timon had a little bit of just reveal season hype around it. At 3-cost, uninkable 2/3/1. When you play this character, chosen opponent reveals their hand and discards a non-character card of your choice. So it's Mowgli. It's a Mowgli type effect, except you get to choose. So it's really Ludwig von Drake, right? It's Ludwig von Drake, just worse in a lot of ways. It is an ally, so there's ally synergy for. You could run it in no, that doesn't work because Jasmine's blue steel dual color. There is other ally synergies. There's Bianca, so you could play this and then play Bianca on turn 4. But that's not really a big deal. I think you'd just rather play Mowgli. Mowgli is an inkable. It comes out on 2. If you play Lantern on 2, you can play Mowgli on 3 plus a 1-drop. So yeah, I think Timon, there's a lot of hype around it. I do not think it's a great card. Blue, yellow, or Sapphire Amber is just going to run Ludwig von Drake. Amber Steel is probably just going to run Mowgli if it runs anything, because it could also run the new song, which is going to delay things by a turn. So Purple You got Amethyst Amber. They're not going to run this. They already have better uninkables in that slot, so that's not going to be a big deal. So I think Timon sits in C tier. His effect is still good, right? The ability to get hand knowledge and things like that is still good, but look at Bare Necessities. Bare Necessities was a song and a song deck that still saw no play. So I mean, what are the odds that Timon sees any play? I think very slim. But we'll go ahead. We'll put him in C tier. It's a little early to be putting things in D tier. I mean, maybe that's appropriate. We'll go D tier with Timon. I just don't see a world where you play him. Like, the uninkables in a lot of Amber decks is already a really high number, especially if you are running Lantern, if you're running the new song that we're not going to be looking at today. That gets pretty high. So we're going to go D tier for that one. And, of course, let me know if I'm crazy. But next up, we've got our boy Pleakley. Pleakley is a 3-cost inkable 2/4/1 with the ally alien tag. When you play this character, if you have another alien character in play, draw a card. So, all right. So alien synergy, that's actually a lot of fun. The stats, though, are not great. 2/4/1. You're not trading with anything that really matters at this point. Steel is playing Lexingtons, and Amethyst is playing the new 4/4 on Inkable that turns something sideways. So the stats are not good. You get to draw a card, but it's a draw card where you have to have another thing in play. I think unless you're running a theme deck, that this is another card that's not going to really see much play. It's just a lot. It's a lot of things you have to do for a card that doesn't have good stats and doesn't trade well and doesn't do much. So I just don't know. I think it's another D tier card. I think we're going to put him down here with Timon, because the stat line is just not good, right? As a 3-drop at a 2/4/1 that's just drawing you a card, there's got to be more alien synergy, I think. So yeah, we're going D tier with our boy Pleakley. Unfortunately, you hate to see it, but Jumba Jukiba is an exciting one. So 8-cost inkable 4/5/2. For each character you have in play, you may pay 1 less to play this character. I am helping whenever this character quests. You may remove all damage from chosen character. Abby, go. No. This one's exciting. So my first thought is 2 decks, right? You have dogs, and it's playing a lot of characters, and you also have a Rockstar Stitch deck. A Rockstar Stitch deck is focused around playing a lot of 1 and 2 drops, and that way you can use Rockstar Stitch's effect to draw a card every time you play one of them, and they come in exerted. So you play a bunch of those, and then you could play Jumba Jukiba for really cheap or for free possibly. Whenever this character quests, you remove all damage from chosen character. That effect doesn't really do much. I mean, it can, right? There's been times where you're trying to play around Go-Go, but you can't play around Go-Go. So this helps you play around Go-Go, which is good. That is exciting. But it's a very expensive card. It's a 4/5, which is a good body. Dogs isn't going to run this. They just run Tramp and call it a day. They don't need more of these cards, in my opinion, that require a lot of other characters to be on the field. So I think you just don't run this. So what's up, Ray? Yeah, or Rain. Yeah, the Ruben is going to be really interesting, and I think we definitely do talk about. Yeah, we'll talk about that one next. So I don't know. Jumbo Jukiba is interesting. Again, I think if it sees any play, it's going to see play in a Rockstar Stitch deck. If it sees play anywhere, for each character you have in play, you pay 1 less to play this character. I am curious if we do look up Rockstar Stitch really quick. So whenever you play a character with cost 2 or less, so his cost is 8, right? Even if you play 1 less to play him for each character, his cost is 8. So he doesn't trigger Stitch Rockstar. So that makes him not as good as well. I think we're going to go with C tier for our boy Jumba. I just don't know what he sees play in. He needs a stronger secondary effect to be a strong card, in my opinion. Jeremy, what's going on, brother? I hope you're doing all right. Hope you're enjoying reveal season. So I've been enjoying it. I think this has been a fun reveal season. I don't have a lot of complaints about this reveal season so far. All right, next up we've got our boy Ruben. I will have complaints if we don't see a good Pocahontas. But all right, so Ruben, this one's really exciting for all of our, especially our Ruby Amber players. So 2-cost Inkable 131. When you exert this character, remove up to 2 damage from chosen character of yours. For each 1 damage removed this way, you pay 1 less for the next character you play this turn. Ruby has a lot of ways to interact with Ruben, and I think that this card will definitely see play. I think that it enables a lot of things in Ruby, and Ruby has so many good ways of doing these things and playing it that I think it's going to be a mainstay in Ruby Amber. And the thing is like, a lot of people are talking about like the Mulan shift package, and it doesn't even have to be the Mulan shift package. It can just be the Mulan and just the 1-cost Mulan, and then you play a Ruben on 2, and then you exert this character. You remove 2 damage from that Mulan, so you get a 2/3 with no damage that trades into Captain Hooks and stuff. And now you can play you're going to turn 3, so you can play a 5-cost character. So that, I mean, a 5-cost character on turn 3 is a pretty good turn. Like that is a really good turn. So I think that Ruben definitely sees play. I think the question is, he's not S tier, right? I think you could. The question is he A? Is he A or is he B tier? What do you guys think? Rain, you're a big one. What do you think? What's more realistic, A tier or B tier? Jeremy, enjoying reveals. Glad you're doing this video. What I'm not enjoying is the constant amazing blue and purple cards and not love for new Steel Song. Yeah, you know what? We don't want Steel Song to get too much love, right? Because if Steel Song gets too much love, then everyone's going to jump on it. And I don't want that, right? I don't want everyone to jump on Steel Song. And because I like playing a deck that's not super popular. So we don't want too much love. We want just enough, right? Just enough that we can do things. All right, B tier, I agree with that. I do agree with that because he is a great enabler, but he by himself isn't like Sail's an enabler, but Sail enables the deck to be powerful. Whereas Ruben, he enables you to high roll, right? But you need to see things for it to high roll. You have to see Mulan, or you have to see maybe like a Prince John. Is the Mother Gothel legal? Did it get reprinted in the new set? Let's find out. It did not. Okay, it did not. All right. So yeah, I agree. She rotated, yeah. So I agree. I think Ruben in B tier is a good move. Great in certain decks, but not all Amber decks. Yeah, he's an enable. Okay, I agree with you guys. All right, I like it. I like it. Okay, let's grab our next card, Pocahontas. One of the iconics, right? Okay. So Pocahontas, 5 cost inkable, 3/6/2 shift 3. She is a hero and a princess. When you play this character, if you used shift to play her and none of your characters challenge this turn, characters can't challenge until the start of your next turn. It is very unfortunate that you have to shift for her to affect. So it's like the Jasmine, the Emerald Jasmine, where you have to shift for the shift Jasmine effect to bounce all exerted characters back to your opponent's hand. So that is unfortunate. This is not, in my opinion, this is not a shift 3 that you're going to be shifting on 3 unless you just really. We still have not seen all the cards. We may be getting another song, right? We may be getting something that's really powerful, another 5-cost song or something that merits you wanting to play a shift, like a shift 3 5-drop. We still don't have a baby Pocahontas, right? We still don't have one. I cannot imagine how upset people would be if we do not see a baby Pocahontas for this Pocahontas, but I think she's a B tier card. Borderline C. I think this is a shift that you want later in the game. It's not one that you want early. It's not, because if you're, depending on what kind of Amber Steel deck you're running, you're setting up Lantern, or maybe you're setting up another 3-cost, whatever it may be. But you want the lines, right? Ursula on turn 2, or Lantern on turn 2, and then Ariel on turn 3. When I say Ariel, I mean the new singer, right? A 2-drop in Amethyst was revealed. That's right, it was. So Amethyst Amber could run it, right? Yeah, she would be good with Tiana, right? And in last set, I had a lot of success with an Amethyst Amber Princess deck. It ran Tiana's, and it ran the Elsa and the Shift Elsa, and it ran Aurora and things like that. And I had a lot of success with it. So maybe that kind of deck comes back in that way. But for me, she's sitting in B tier at best. I want to try. How do you guys? Yeah, I think she's sitting in B tier at best. Sorry, I wanted to fix something. So, but yeah, what do you guys think? Is that too generous? Because I'm not even opposed to saying she might be sitting at like a C tier. I think she's borderline C tier. To be honest, because yeah, I think of the other shit. I just don't know when you want to play. You want to play her later in the game, in my opinion, right? When you play her later in the game, it can kind of just shut things down, especially when there is no B prep. Yes, you have Prince Philip's shift line, but that's all gonna that requires a lot of setup. And if they don't have it, they don't have it. And if they can't challenge your characters, they can't challenge your characters. So it's a good game ender. But that means you're running potentially the Pocahontases that are not good, the baby Pocahontases, so bad top decks. That means you're running this card that is a bad top deck unless you have the shift. So C seems right with the info we have. And yeah, I agree. Sitting in C tier, I think, is a good answer as well. So it feels so bad because she got this beautiful iconic card, right? And it's just not, it just feels bad, right? It feels bad to put it in C tier. I'm going to fix the chat really quick because it's not very easy to read if you guys are relying on that to read from like YouTube and Twitch. That might be a little bit better. Okay. Okay. So back to this. We'll leave her in B tier just out of generosity. Should she be in C tier? No. So the last tier list we did for Whispers in the Well, we were very generous for cards. And I'm going to try and be a little bit more realistic with this one. And so, yeah, I think that is perfectly fine putting in C tier. Angel. This one is the talk of the town, right? Because everybody's freaking out about Angel because of she's the new Cinderella, right? The Cinderella. So first off, Angel is a 2-cost inkable, 2/2/1, an ally and an alien. So 2 different types of synergies. And she has the new underdog effect. The new underdog effect is if this is your first turn and you're not the first player, you pay 1 less to play this character. And she's a Singer 3. So everyone is freaking out that this is the new Cinderella. By no stretch of the imagination is this the new Cinderella. Like this card is, I don't know. Like at first I was very upset with this song, and I still think that we need a really strong 3-cost song or a 2-cost song to make Angel worth running. Because to run her, she's taking the place of a really strong 2-cost, right? That could be maybe you, instead of running like a 6 package of 4 Ursulas, 2 Troubadours, you run 2 Angels and 4 Ursulas. And I don't think that's bad, right? Because the pros of Angel is you get a Singer 3 on turn 1. That's really good. And she trades into a lot of the other 1-cost cards. She gets cleared by Fire the Cannons. That's true, but not a lot of decks run Fire the Cannons right now. And maybe in the future they do, but Fire the Cannons is bad into a lot of other decks. Right now, there is the new song that we're not going to talk about today. That's going to come up in tomorrow's video or the next stream. Angel does enable that. So, always got a cannon is, yeah, I mean, your opponent always has cannons when you least expect people to have cannons. That's just how it feels sometimes. Like, but I don't know. Angel's so interesting to me. Right now, in the way I see Angel is she is a phenomenal turn 1 play if you're on the draw, right? And she's a really bad turn 2 play. And that makes it really hard. Like, do you run a certain amount of these to try and high roll the new song, which isn't going to be incredibly uncommon to do. If you run 4 of the new song and 4 of Angel, you think back to how often did you find the Shift Robin Hood and the Baby Robin Hood when you needed them? How often did you find Cinderella and Let the Storm Rage On when you needed them? So it's not unheard of to be able to do that. And the high roll capability is really good. Angel is really hard for me because my immediate thought is if I'm playing a deck, right? If I'm playing Amber Steel, I'm probably running Aurora. That's going to be 4 of, right? And then depending on the meta, maybe I need Captain Hook. Maybe I need something else, right? Mulan, right? To shit or for the filter ability. I don't know. At first I hated Angel very much. What other decks though? So if you ran Amber Sapphire, the only new song they got that matters is going to be the same song that we got that lets you cheat out a character. Amethyst Amber doesn't have any songs that you care about singing. So it's other than the new card. Is the high roll capability enough to put Angel in A tier? I don't think so. I'm going to put her in A tier for now. Is that correct? I don't think so. I don't know, because it's one of those cards that I'm definitely going to have to test to see how often we get punished for running it, because Ursula is going to be such a good 2-drop, right? Aurora is a great 1-drop even on the draw, because it enables you to do something like turn 2 Tiana, turn 2 double card, turn 2 Aurora, right? It's like, so it's hard. It's really hard, because she's on, like, Strength of a Raging Fire is a thing. I'm going to put her in A tier for now, because it's one of those cards that I'm going to have to do a lot of playtesting with to see how often I get punished for running this card. So yeah, we'll put it there for now. You guys can let me know if I'm way off. All right. The Bad Rapunzel. Are we allowed to call it that? Are we allowed to call it the Bad Rapunzel? Is that a thing? So Ohana means family. 3-cost inkable action. So we have something going there. It is an inkable, right? Remove all damage from chosen character of yours. Draw a card for each 1 damage removed this way. This is really interesting, and I think that it's definitely no lower than B, and I think can be an argument to put it in A. And the reason for that is because it's card draw, right? When you look at Amber Sapphire, what is it lacking? Card draw. Yes, it's lacking a few other things. It's also lacking a way to remove the opponent, but that's gotten better with cards like the Horseman Strikes. You look at Ruby Amber. What is it lacking? Card draw. Amber Steel. What is it lacking? Card draw, because it doesn't have Whole New World anymore. So Ohana means family answers all of that. With that being said, you need to put damage on your character somehow. There is no Let the Storm Rage on to put 2 damage on your own character like we used to be able to do to trigger Rapunzel. You run Ursula's, right, to trade into something, so that's a possibility. In my experience with Rapunzel, good opponents made it very difficult to ever get Rapunzel value. The only time you ever really got Rapunzel value was if you set it up yourself, meaning you sung a song on your own character. And that's how you generally had to do it. But we don't have that luxury anymore. So you can self-damage with Angel. The 4-cost Steel Angel, that's true. That is something you can do. And we're going to look at that card here in a little bit. So that's something you can do. There's the David Xanatos that will self-damage. You can deal 2 damage. The other thing is if you run this card, it changes how your opponent has to play. Your opponent can know, like, if they see this card or even that you're on Amber, they have to respect that you might have it. So they can no longer, like, how many times have you been playing a game where your opponent's like, okay, you can't remove my Cheshire Cat, so I'm going to quest with my Cheshire Cat. Now they can't do that anymore. They can't just turn their Cheshire Cat sideways if you have an Ursula, because then you could draw 3, right? And that could be a big deal. I'm putting this in A tier for that reason, for a couple reasons. Can't wait to see what other aliens we get. You can self-damage with Angel with this, yes. So I'm loving the aliens, right? I think there's a lot of cool synergy that could happen with that. There's the location with that. But Ohana means family. I'm going to put an A tier. And the reason is because what it forces your opponent to do. It forces your opponent to slow down, or for them to say, you have to have it. And that is a big deal. And how many Amber decks are hurting because they don't have card draw? Amber Ruby can run this card very well with cards like Mulan and Prince John and all these other damage abilities. You could run the new Angel and steal to damage yourself. Sapphire could run big characters like the Genie, or they could run big characters like Thunderbolt that are hard to deal with. They can trade into things, get damage left on them, and then you play Ohana Means Family. I think Ohana Means Family can sit in A tier, and I'm okay with that. A lot of it has to do, though, with forcing your opponent to just play around it. So, and then we have Ohana on Monstro. Yes, that would be very nasty. And then, of course, if you guys didn't see the is that the iconic symbol? That is the iconic symbol. Both the iconics are amber. That's interesting. Is that the iconic symbol? No. Wait a second. Because they said Moana was the other iconic. Is the iconic? No, the iconic symbol and the enchanted symbol in these cards look exactly the same. Am I crazy? I'm not crazy. I know I'm not crazy. Oh, no, they are different. Okay. All right. They are different. Okay. So the iconic is more of like a circle type thing. And this is, oh God, what is that? A pentagon? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Is that a pentagon? Is a pentagon 6? What shape has 6 sides? Hexagon. It's a hexagon. Okay. They are different. Yes, I agree. They are different. I see that now. So, and you guys can ignore the fact that I had to look up what shape has six sides. Gosh, they look so similar, though. All right, moving on, though. We have cards that aren't enchanted. So, no S tier Amber card yet, in my opinion. No S tier Amber card, in my opinion, yet. We'll see what happens. Man, Ohana Means Family on Monstro would just be devastating. Like, just imagine drawing all those cards. Okay. We're going to move on to Amethyst. And our first card we have is Tigger, Bouncing All the Ways, a 4-cost inkable 4/3/1. When you play this character, you may return chosen character, item, or location with cost 2 or less to their player's hand. Starting off Amethyst with one of the very few bad cards that they got, in my opinion. I do not think that Tigger is going to see any play. The reason for that is because I played a lot of green-purple this set, right? I'm sure everyone knows that. And in green-purple, we wanted to bounce stuff. And at one point, we tried this cool thing with Maleficent that got to bounce things, and the Nana that bounced things. And it wasn't good. It was not good. Tigger is doing that same thing, but it's not doing it well. Now, Tigger does have the advantage of you don't have to discard a card to use his effect. So maybe that's something, but I don't think so. I do not think that Tigger sees play. Yes, he trades well, but he only quests for 1. And I just don't see a big enough reason to run this in your 4-drop slot in any kind of Amethyst deck. Like, you can't even bounce. If it was 3 costs or less, it'd be a whole nother story. You could bounce something like Emerald Chromicon, and that would be a really big deal. You could bounce a Lexington, and that would be a big deal. But 2 or less is just not ideal. So I think we're starting off with one of the few bad cards that Amethyst has gotten, with that being Tigger, who's just having such a good time. All right, next up we have Isis Vanderchill. So Isis Vanderchill is a 4-cost uninkable 4/4/1, a super and a villain. And when you play this character, exert chosen opposing character. That's a doozy. So they have another Elsa, right? Now this is this is a bad Elsa, right? In the sense that Elsa has Rush. So for Isis, if you're the effect can work out, right? With Isis, you could run something like Rafiki, right? Or Royal Guard. And you have ways to do that. But if I'm looking at Blurple, for example, then you're ramping on turn 2 and you're ramping on turn 2, and when you ramp on turn 2, you play this on turn 3, and that's just not what you're really wanting to do. Now, there are exceptions, right? If you're against green blue, and green blue has a baby cow down, the Clarabelle, then your Rafiki, your Basil, your Royal Guard will trade into the Clarabelle because of Isis. But there's the fact of the matter that Isis is an uninkable. Raz, dang, I was thinking Tigger was decent. Optional effect that hits either player's cards and would be decent into aggro. There is that. It could be decent into aggro. So maybe if aggro, it could be a really good tech card for the meta, right? If aggro becomes a big deal. So maybe D can be a little mean, right? But Isis. All right. What do we think about being an uninkable? Is the one, I mean, it's the one downside, right? That's always the downside of any card, is the fact that it's uninkable. So that I mean, that means nothing in saying that. But when you play this character, exert chosen opposing character. It's a 4/4/1. It's a super and a villain. The villain is a big deal in a sense because of the new Steel Darkwing Duck. It is on your own characters. Tigger is on your own characters. All right, we're going to come back to Tigger. Jeremy, you agree with me that Tigger's a D tier card. Interesting. Because I don't think anyone else does agree with me. Okay. Or are you saying Isis is a D tier card? For me, I think Isis can sit in B tier. And her effect is so good. Like forcing something to turn sideways is so good. But when I look at Amethyst decks, they already have a lot of uninkable cards. Any version of Amethyst, right? Amber Amethyst has the 4 genies, the 4 lanterns. There's 8 right there. You already have Demona. You already have Elsa. Like, I don't know if you need more cards to force your opponent to turn sideways is the thing. I think you're already doing okay. I think C tier for Isis is fine. Now Tigger, though. If we had sideboards, he'd be the perfect sideboard card. But I could see you running Tigger as like a 1 of or a 2 of. I could see that. I mean, it does bounce Doc. It is aggro tech. But here's the thing. Amethyst Steel could already have bounced Doc, right? They could have played Madam Elephant. And Madam Elephant is arguably just a better card, right? Because like a better card to get down, being a 3/7 body that does stuff. Yeah, Stutchy, exactly what I'm saying. Like, I think if you're bouncing Doc, you just run Elephant anyways. Now, Tigger does have the ability to, of course, do something, right? Like, Tigger does have the ability to bounce an opponent's card. So yeah, if your local meta is just incredibly aggro heavy, then I think you throw Tigger in, because why not? You have Calhoun, Captain Hooks, Cheshire Cats, Tiggers to farm all of those. Isis I could see this as just another one or two because look at how many people ran Olaf bounces too. Yes, that's true as well. So look at how many people ran Ursula Voice Stealer for a little while. Because it could turn something sideways. So yeah, that's true as well, Stutchy. That's true as well in regards, yeah. So I'm gonna keep Isis in C tier though, only because see even so Ursula voice I think it was Voice Stealer, right? Um, it wasn't Voice Stealer. What was it called? Oh, it was Voice Stealer. So this card saw a lot of play. They didn't see a lot of play. It saw some play, right? Now Ursula, I wonder if Ursula sees a lot more play because of Let It Go. But that's a conversation for tomorrow. We're going to keep Isis in C tier. That's where I'm going with that one. Just because exerting stuff can be good. Maybe you throw one or two in, exert things, and something can trade into it, right? We'll see. We'll keep it there. User JB4OJ6FH9K. That is true. You can do that. Okay. Morgana Macabre. Morgana Macabre is a 3-cost inkable 5/3/1. So big body, kind of. It's a vanilla character with no effect, but it is a 3-cost. But it doesn't have evasive. It doesn't have alert. It is a super, a villain, and a sorcerer. 3-cost inkable Elsa can exert, which does the same effect on turn 4. It's better in my opinion just because inkable. That's true. That's very true. I forget about the 3-cost inkable Elsa as a card. So that is very true. Because you could still play Jean. That's true. All right, Morgana though. Morgana Macabre. What do you care about trading with that really matters with this card? Essentially, Iago on turn 2 does the same thing. A 5/3 is going to pretty much be an even trade into anything like that you're attacking. So you're losing this character as a 3-drop. If you're playing Blurple, you're not playing this character because you're just playing your amazing 4-drop characters on turn 3. Amber Amethyst doesn't care about this card. Stutchy says D, and I've got to agree with you on that one. I think D tier is very appropriate for this card. I think that all the Amethyst decks are just doing stronger things on their turn 3 than playing this card. On turn 3, you're playing Cheshire Cat. On turn 3, you're playing Genie. You're playing Iago. You're playing everything else, right? So I just don't think Morgana will ever see play. Cool stat line. Could potentially be extremely effective in limited if you're a big limited fan. I just don't think it will see it play in core. Not sure why Ursula saw play. People really liked Ursula into heavy dog metas. Was a big reason she saw play. Is they just wanted more ways to force dogs to turn sideways. But okay. I'm going to put the next card up, and I need to go get a water. So I will be right back. All right. Bear with me. I'll be right back. French cup. I've got my water. Real quick, who is going to get affected by the big snowstorm coming? Molly and I went to Walmart today just because she wanted a humidifier for other reasons besides the snowstorm. It's crazy what people are buying. Like, they bought out all the milk. All the milk is gone. They bought out like all the chicken and beef and stuff. And I don't think they realize that have they ever been in a natural disaster, right? I'm not going to call this winter storm a natural disaster, but like, if you lose power, like, the stuff in your fridge and your freezer goes bad depending on how long you lose power. And they're buying all these perishables. Like, they're not doing it correct. What we forgot to do, though, was check the toilet paper. I'm always curious what happens with the toilet paper, especially after COVID. Like, they just like to flock to the toilet paper these days. So I'm curious what that would look like. I know at Sam's Club, all the toilet paper is gone. Like, people went and bought all the toilet paper. Good job, COVID. But massive storm here. It's also -15 right now. Western New York going to get crushed. It's going to cancel the only set chips I can get to this set on Sunday. Jeremy, make sure that store owner knows that weather delays permit him to move the set champs. He doesn't have to send back the set champs kit. He can just reschedule it. Okay, so make sure he knows that. That way he doesn't send it back, and you guys can still do that set champs for the Daisy. I know we're supposed to get hit. It's not supposed to get that cold though, but they're saying we're supposed to get like 20 inches of snow or something. It reminds me of being up in Alaska. It's not, Molly and I are just kind of like chilling. It's just like whatever. But I know a lot of people are really freaking out. And if you've never been in that much snow, I get it. So, okay. Amethyst Rabbit. Rabbit is fed up. He is a 1/4/2. Shut up, Jeremy. No, the 12th man team or whatever it is. No, I do not want them winning the Super Bowl. I cannot go through hearing about the 12-man team or the 12th man team or whatever the crap is that they say for another year. I can't do it. But Rabbit is a card. Rabbit is a 1/4/2 Challenger +3. It is a 3-cost inkable. It is an ally. So there is ally synergies out there. If you did something like Amethyst Steel and you ran Bianca, the Challenger +3 is a big deal. It turns into a 4/4 for 3, which is nice. But the problem is that it can challenge into something, but then it's just going to get traded into, right? And so yes, you removed a thing, but at the same time, like, what is going to run this? Amethyst Steel, I could. So I guess that's interesting. I mean, because you look at Ruby Amethyst, right? Ruby Amethyst ran like the Peter Pan. Now that was Peter Pan quested for 2. It's a 1/3 evasive, but it does enable Dumbo, right? Peter Pan was also evasive, so it doesn't get challenged by something like Calhoun. Rabbit does. Rabbit, I don't know. I think Rabbit's C tier. I think it's really cool. It has really good challenge capabilities, but again, when there's so many other great cards that you're playing on turn 3, when are you playing Rabbit, and why are you playing Rabbit? So, I don't know. I think C tier is appropriate. So, I guess you're right, Jeremy. Who would I rather win? It sucks the Broncos. Bo decided to break his freaking ankle in the last 2 seconds of the playoff game. So, yeah, that sucks. And I don't want the Rams to win because, and I guess the Seahawks is the lesser of all evils. I'd love the Broncos to would have won, but no. Bo had to go break his freaking foot. But Rabbit, C tier. Moving on. My poor kids haven't had a Seahawks Super Bowl since before they were born. You act like it's been like it has been a decade since they won the Super Bowl, hasn't it? Because I was stationed in Ramstein when they won the Super Bowl. So I guess it has been a long time. Yeah, I was stationed in Ramstein, so it has been a decade since they've won, or over a decade. Okay, Terran, 5 cost, uninkable. This one's kind of exciting. This 12 years. He's a 5/5/1 with Rush, and he is a hero. When you play this character, put up to 2 cards from chosen player's discard on the bottom of their deck in any order. So this one is really cool. There's some cool synergies here. Now, when I say really cool, that doesn't mean really playable, but it is really cool. And the reason for that is because it does counter dogs in a way, because you can put their Lilos on the bottom of their deck now. So that is something. So you use a character to challenge into their Lilo, and then you play the Terran to put the Lilo on the bottom of their deck so they can't keep replaying it. And Lilo is arguably one of the stronger cards in the deck, and they lose that capability now, the free draw, so to speak. And he's a 5/5, so that is a big deal. But he is uninkable. That is a really big deal as well. MTG Sick Breaks, what's going on, brother? How you doing? Thanks for stopping by. I hope you're enjoying the Winterspell reveals. Jeremy, that was, I wasn't a big believer in the NFL's rigged thing until that Super Bowl. And now I'm a huge believer in that the NFL is rigged. But you keep getting me off subject. It is a Maui, right? It is a Maui in that sense. Especially with new stat lines, like 5 is clearing a lot of things these days. But Maui was inkable. Doing his best Maui impersonation, yes. And I do love this. I love the artwork on this card with Terran and the sword. That's such an iconic part of the Black Cauldron. I think you can put him in B tier. I think B tier is fine. It's definitely not S or A, and I don't think he's bad enough to merit C tier. I think his effect here is good enough, along with Rush and a good stat line, that is fine. You never run a lot of them. You can't run 4, and I don't think you ever even run 3. But I think you could run it 2 comfortably, and I think you could run 1 very comfortably. So, 5 would challenge the Stitch really well, so that's something as well. We can maybe clear Phillip after the wipe. Not with Terran, you can't, because Phillip's an evasive. So you'd have to play something like Magical Feather with Terran to be able to let him clear the Prince Phillip. But Prince Phillip's also a 6/6, so that doesn't help either. So, but yes, I like it. I think B tier is good. Maybe one of from Matthew. Yeah, it could be rigged. You're getting me off subject again. Just guy could screw us. That's the last word. Rush is the big thing we've needed to face those board wipe centric. Yeah. Okay. Good. I agree too. I think B tier is good for Terran. I really like this card though. I really like this artwork. I would have been perfectly happy if this was like this card, like this character in the sword would have been a legendary. I think would have been really cool. But moving on to Tinkerbell, one of the Amethyst legendaries. So Tinkerbell's another one that really beautiful card. If you weren't aware, Tinkerbell is the Set Champs promo. I wonder if we can see it. Oh, that doesn't really do it justice. So I'll see if I can copy it. Yeah, it doesn't do it any justice. Okay, so Tinkerbell is the Set Champs promo. The mat for Tinkerbell is going to look phenomenal. And yes, Terran would be a really cool mat as well. What's going on, DPU? How you doing, brother? I'm looking forward to it as well, man. So, but Tinkerbell, really great artwork. It's the set champs card looks really good. I think the mat is gonna be breathtaking. A foil Tinkerbell mat would be just to die for. Okay, but the card itself, 3-cost inkable ally fairy, a 3/3/1. 2 effects here. While you have 4 or more cards in your hand, this character gains evasive. Not impossible. Spectacular fine. While you have 7 or more cards in your hand, this character gets +3 lore. Hey, what's up, Mishka? 13-hour workday, and you think you're winning coming to see the stream? I'm honored, brother. I'm honored, man, and I'm glad you stopped by. So, all right, so Tinkerbell. Okay, this one, this one's interesting. So, having 4 cards in your hand is not unheard of. I think that's very plausible and very simple for Amethyst to do these days with cards like Guidebook and Dumbo and Genie and all these other things that replace themselves. 7 cards in hand is hard. That is really hard to do. I don't see a lot of players with 7 cards in hand anymore. User says, and that's what I was thinking. Like maybe you could run this in Brainiac. It would be very easy to have 7 cards in your hand with Brainiac. With that being said, no, you wouldn't. You can't run it in green, purple, burn. You'd never have 7 cards in hand, even though you're playing all that draw power. I like B tier for Tinkerbell because she's going to have evasive a lot of the time. So Dumbo synergy, things like that. The Dumbo synergy works with Spectacular Fine. And there's a world where she could quest for 4. She could quest for 4. There is a world for that. And that is a lot of power. Like that is a lot of capability. Imagine you do play Second Star to the Right. You play that card. You draw 5. It sends you to 7 or more cards in your hand. And then you get a burst of questing for 4. Like that. That's really powerful. So I think B tier is very worthy. And I think someone else agreed. MTG agreed B tier as well. So Emerald coming back with, I don't even want to look at the Emerald cards, specifically because of Mickey Mouse. But yes, discard. If you're a big discard fan, discard is coming back. I think discard is going to be very playable even without Prince John. I just think there's lots of ways to make it happen. Okay, so Tinkerbell, B tier, going to be a beautiful card, beautiful set champs card, beautiful set champs mat. Could possibly see play in Brainiac. I do agree. Genie. Mickey, not Goofy. What did I miss? Mickey, not Goofy. What did I say, Game Piece? I must have said, I'd said something. I don't remember what I said. But Genie, 3-cost inkable. This card like broke Reddit. Okay, this card just straight up broke Reddit. 3-cost inkable, 3/4/1. Oh, Mickey, not Goofy. You're talking discard stuff. Okay. A lot of Emerald stuff, right? And we'll get there. But yes, I think Emerald is going to be very good. I think discard is going to be very good. So, Genie, 3/4/1. Boost 1. For those of you that are new to the boost mechanic, maybe you're new coming into it in Winterspell, once during your turn, you may pay 1 to put the top card of your deck face down under this character. This character gets +1 lore for each card under him. So, that's pretty good. I got to admit. That's pretty good. Now, couple things, right? In this case, Genie is once during your turn. So that is important. Not every boost character has that thing that says once during your turn. So be aware of that if you are newer to Lorcana or the boost mechanic. Now, there are cards that allow you to put cards underneath your card. So for example, you can play Emily Quackfaster that MTG talked about in the chat. What that card does, we'll pull it up really quick just to make it really easily for you. Where is she at? Emily Quackfaster. So Emily Quackfaster, we'll do this. Is when you play this character, you may put the top card of your deck face down under one of your characters or locations with boost. So what happens is you play Genie on turn 3. Then on turn 4, you play Emily to put a card underneath Genie, and then you boost Genie as well. So now Genie is questing for 3, and he's a 3/4 body. The 4 health is just enough to be really annoying. So Genie, really good. I think that Genie is a great way to just aggro out some easy lore. This is a really good card, in my opinion, for something like Blurple to try and go under green-blue rather quickly. But I think Emerald Amethyst is going to be able to abuse it the most. In a very big way. I think Emerald Amethyst is going to do very mean things with Genie that people are going to get really fed up with really fast. So, yeah, I agree. I 100% agree with A tier. If anything, upper A tier. Not, again, I don't think S tier. Like, I don't think we've seen an S tier card yet. At least off the top of my head, I can't think of anything. But did I just lock those? Yeah, I don't want those locked. Also consider the Pocahontas to double that lore, meaning he can't be challenged. I'm assuming is what you mean, right? Or is there the new are you talking about the new Amethyst Pocahontas? All right, we're gonna look it up. I'm gonna look up that Amethyst Pocahontas really quick in case you're talking about that one. Because now I'm just really curious. Spoiler chat. Where is it at? Spoilers, read it. All right. Where is... Oh, Pocahontas. Okay, we're going to cheat a little. If you haven't seen this card yet, we're going to cheat a little. Because that makes Genie crazy. So Pocahontas, whenever this character quests, gain lore equal to another chosen exerted character's lore. Oh my goodness gracious. Oh, with Genie, that's just disgusting. Okay, we'll rate that. We'll do it because I don't want to lose track of where we're at. So we will knock out Pocahontas tomorrow. But that's disgusting. Okay, yeah. Jeremy, bouncing boost to draw is going to get out of hand this set. Yeah. No, I think the boost stuff is going to go crazy. I think Genie is easily an upper A tier card, like borderline S tier. But I think A tier is a really good place for it. So, all right. Okay. Anna. This one was revealed a while ago. Okay. Oh, that's right. This is the 0 one. So this one's really, I need to start saying different words. I've said really interesting a lot tonight. If this was a drinking game, there'd be a lot of people in trouble. So she is a 5-cost Inkable, 5/5/1. She's a hero and a queen and a Floodborn. If a card left a player's discard this turn, this character gains Shift 0. You may pay 0 ink to play this on top of one of your characters named Anna. Whenever this character quests, you may gain lore equal to the lore of a character card in your discard. If you do, put that card on the bottom of your deck. The Shift 0 is really cool. The problem with the Shift 0 is let's take a look at... No. Actually, let's just do this. Let's pull up all the legal cards right now. Let's go, and then we'll do Anna. So what Anna cards do we actually care about playing, right? I want the character Anna. Illustrated. Okay. It's just not going to want to work. Okay. So there's the 2-drop Anna, which is pretty good. This is a plant. Oh. Okay. So, okay. Sure. Right. So it can sing Let It Go, but what are you playing it on, right? So if we look at Blurple, this card, this Anna doesn't see any play. So you run this Anna maybe, right? If you have another hero character in play, this character gets +1. So Blurple has this ability to go a little bit faster. You have this support one. Whenever you play this character, chose an opposing character can't ready at the start of their next turn. That could be a thing. I mean, and the fact of the matter is like, I mean, you also have to make something leave your discard to be able to shift 0. Like, I don't know. This one, like, I want to put it in C tier. Just because there's so many things required to make this card tick. Yeah, Stutchy, too many pieces, right? A card has to leave your discard. In Blurple, what options do you have to make it leave your discard? The Horned King. So now you have to build a deck around Horned King. And I'm sure there's other stuff to leave your discard, right? That I'm just not thinking of right now. But like there's a lot of things required to be able to get that shift 0, including running a lot of cards that just aren't really that great. So you know what I didn't notice before, though, was the vines. There's a lot of vines going on here, but these are happy vines. So, yes, I do agree with that. Like, this is a card that you sit down and say, you know what I want to do? I want to run Anna. And then you build an entire deck around Anna and running things like Horn King or other discard things that you want to do. So, one of the new locations. The vine. Oh, good point. Yeah, they're not attacking yet. So this would be before Elsa froze. Just before the vines attacked, right? Because Elsa didn't freeze them until the vines started attacking, right? So, because then she froze them, but then her power was too strong, so it froze everything and put it into a perpetual winter, so to speak. So, okay, Anna, C tier. Moving on. What do you guys think of the Lorecast? I really liked it. I really liked it when they went into detail on a lot of the stuff. So, another card that was revealed super early. Beautiful artwork. Lady did a phenomenal job with this artwork. But, Do You Want to Build a Snowman is a 3-cost uninkable. Do You Want to Build a Snowman? Action and a song. So, it is a song. Chosen opponent chooses yes or no. Yes, you gain 3 lore. No, they choose a character of theirs and put that card on the bottom of their deck. I hate to say it for such an iconic song, but this is D tier for me. The sad part about Anna is you will finally get your deck to pop off and get her out, and the purple steel player will just strength her. That's true. That's very true. And now Blurple will just also let it go or hate. Yeah, all those things. But okay, so here's why I'm leaning towards D tier. First off, it's an uninkable, right? So ding, right there. It's very easy for most decks to just be like, no, you don't get to do that. And I'm going to put my Royal Guard, my Palace Guard, my Mowgli on the bottom of my deck. Like, yes, you can gain 3 lore, but I mean, this is a card that you just don't. I mean, when do you want to see that? I mean, Jeremy thinks it's A tier. Jeremy's sitting on A tier for it. MTG thinks it's C tier. Looks A tier. I think it's D tier. Yeah, and exactly. The opponent chooses, right? So if I'm the opponent, like if someone plays this against me, like I'm always going to have a lot of characters on board. Like this whole, it's a very field-centric trading meta that we have, and I don't think that's changing next set. So you think just because it's a song, it makes it really good. And that could be true, right? But I'm just trying to think of how often I look at my opponent's board and they have only one character. And it just doesn't happen very often. Play the same turn as Hades, and that's true. So, but they don't get ink and you sing it. So there, yeah. It's just rough, right? What if I'm so far ahead that I just don't care if you gain 3 lore? And yes, it does get around ward. Okay. Okay, I'll tell you what. I'll take it on a D tier. I will take it on a D tier because everybody in the chat agrees that I am wrong. And it is a song. So there is that. Opponent chooses, it looks A tier, but it's a mirage. I'd say low C. It's going to be good on a board control deck to remove the last character, something like that, but for 3 uninkable. I will take it on a D tier because everyone agrees that it is not a D tier card. I will move it up to C tier. And I think that's meeting in a user does agree with me. It's D tier. I feel there's a word that I'm looking for, but I feel validated now. But I will move it to C tier because the majority thinks that it is at least C tier. Jeremy, A tier. If we were to move it to the middle, it'd be sitting like right here. But if I will move it to C tier. User really does not like. So where do you think Tigger should sit at? Where do you think Tigger should sit at as I bring up Pot of Honey? I'm willing to listen about Tigger. Because my first immediately thought about Tigger was it's not a good pinky card, right? And when I say pinky, I'm talking green-purple control. Turn 4, Sing with 3-drop. Whatever your opponent picks, play max goof. Grab it back for next turn. Questing for 3 or turn can be... Okay. All right, Forrest. Okay, I see you. Okay. Card. Says card. Man, this card... I don't think I've ever had a card that we've done that has had such a wide array of opinions on it. Like this is kind of fun. Tigger allows so many dock shenanigans. Okay, all right, we'll bring Tigger back. So did I lock it? Is it locked? Hang on. I locked it. Okay, 1 second. Okay. Tigger. Let's bring Tigger back before we go to Pot of Honey. Let's do this. Tigger. Copy image. Bang. Bang. Okay. Tigger was the first amethyst one I brought up. I said Tigger was a D tier card. My reasoning being that there's just not a lot of stuff that I care about bouncing at 2. When I played Maleficent and Nana, I just didn't care about bouncing that stuff. Maleficent was a little bit better being able to bounce 3-cost things, but those also force you to discard a card to do their effect. Tigger does not. Now, a lot of people are arguing that Tigger is a much better card because it bounces Dock. My argument for that is that Elephant also bounces Dock. But not a lot of people ran Elephant in their Amethyst Steel decks. The argument is that Tigger can bounce your Dock, but it can also bounce an aggro player's card. But Amethyst Steel normally doesn't suffer against aggro, right? It's favored into a lot of aggro matchups. If anything, the only thing it suffers against is going to be Amethyst Chromacon, not Amethyst, Emerald Chromacon, that you can't bounce with Tigger because it has to be 2 or less. So looking at the chat, he's a tempo. See, at the very least, he's a tempo card that allows for board advantage. True. I think people don't realize you can't sing if you aren't dominating the board. Okay, looking back at, do you want to build a snowman? 3 cost, remove their worst character. If they have an empty board, literally does nothing. Agreed D tier. Hey, Seth, what's going on, brother? Just having some fun, rating some cards. You missed it. Do you want to build a snowman? Got spicy. All right. Tigger gives you more. Are you saying Tigger gives you more than Elephant? Is that what you're referring to? I think Tigger can be good for an early boost like the guy from Tangled. Bounce Mowgli. Yeah, but so we can do that, right? We can bounce Mowgli. We can bounce Emily Quackfaster to boost Genie again. We can bounce a boosted character so we get the card draw. Flynn, yes. But we can do that with Elephant, right? And is Elephant just not better than Tigger in every way? Like, or are we just really stuck on the fact that we can use this effect on your... Hey! IG Chess with the sub, man. I appreciate you very much. I'm not gonna, I realize I get chess. I'm gonna call you I get chess because I don't fully know the rules on Twitch and cussing. So, and but yeah, I do a really good job of filtering my military voice. And I fear that if I start not filtering it, then it's just going to come out. And so I'm just going to call you I Get Chess. Thank you so much for the sub, man. That is awesome. Thank you for choosing me to do that. So MTG says D tier. Please play Tigger against me, please. Flynn from Tangled. Yes. Chicano, Flynn is from Tangled. He's the main character, well, alongside Rapunzel. He has the messed up nose that they're always doing wrong on the wanted posters. So Elephant doesn't feel great if you don't have anything good on your board to bounce. Drew with Dreams laughing at my dilemma with his name. You can't play Mim on an empty board. Oh, that's true. That's very true. You can't play Mim on an empty board. Trigger on curve will never feel bad. Okay. Fun fact, you can play Mim on an empty board. You can play any bounce card on an empty board, but it will get banished. And there's been one time I think it was a DLC where someone did that and they had a very specific reason on why they did it. Like they wanted that card out of their hand and they wanted it in the discard. I just don't remember what it was. I don't remember what it was though, why they wanted to do it so bad. Maybe it was for Namari to get 1 extra strength. I don't remember. But moving on from that. Okay. I'll tell you what. I'll do the same favor with Tigger. I'll do the same favor for Tigger that I did for Do You Want to Build a Snowman? I will, because we have people that wanted A tier, we have people that wanted D tier. We have a lot of people all over the place. I'll put it in C tier. We'll meet in the middle, okay? Mix feels totally different role. This is for green, purple, or purple steel. A 4 strength body, relevant stat line, and can be tempo removal or tempo for your ETB characters. Okay, I get it, right? And one thing to keep in mind is I'm by no stretch of the imagination the best tempo player in the world. Tempo is something I'm still working hard on improving. I have played a lot of my Lorcana time has been spent with song decks, whether it was Amber Steel, which Steel Song, into Green Blue with the Muses package, into Brainiac with all of those things. Tempo has not been the highlight of my play styles. So sometimes I do miss out on the possibility of these really strong potential tempo cards. So I will give you that. Well, don't worry, user. I will not be playing a tempo deck if I go to a CCQ. So you will not have to worry. You will not get the benefit of playing me thinking that. So I don't think either are good cards. Okay. And you both could be right. Like maybe they're both D tier cards, but if anything, I think they're both D tier or very low C tier. That's how I feel about them. But we do have another card. No. Where's my honey pot? Pot of honey. Where's my pot of honey? Okay. Moving on. Pot of honey. All right. First off, can we talk about the fact that it's only an item and it doesn't have the classification of honey? Now, Pot of Honey is a 1-drop inkable. Banish this item. Chosen exerted character can't ready at the start of their next turn. A lot of people have said that this could be a thing for Bell, right? I'm talking the 3/3 blue Bell that you have to, when you play this character, you can banish chosen item to play this character. And no, because you could do that with Popsicle and Fortisphere because it replaced itself. Pot of Honey does not. So now you're down a card value just to play a 3/3 that's not doing anything. The other reason you were comfortable doing it is because you popped a Popsicle or a Fortisphere and then you sang Friends on the Other Side, but you also needed Bell to be able to challenge Steel Song. You don't need Bell anymore. Like that's not a thing that you're worried about getting. I do. So for that reason, just no. It's not helping with Bell. I don't think we care enough about that. I'd rather run a 1-cost action to banish Iagos. A lot of people saying D tier, Enchanted Table. I saw your message. I'll respond. A worse, I'm stuck. I should call. D is completely unplayable and C is fringe playable. Yes, essentially, yes. That's kind of what we're doing. S tier is just broken, right? It's going to be in every Amethyst, every deck that runs that color pairing. A, you're going to see this in most decks. B tier, could see play, C tier, fringe, and D it's just never going to see play, in my opinion, or never going to see effective competitive play. So Pot of Honey, in my opinion, is a D tier card. Let me know how you guys feel about that. And while you let me know, Enchanted Table, Dopey was great. I feel S tier is the Cheshire Cat or Genie, right? Those kinds of cards. So you did almost get me to say it. But dope, Enchanted Table, thank you for asking. It means a lot that you did ask, actually. But Dopey was great. I feel phenomenal. Dopey is one of those things that I do with Molly, the wife, and we go at her pace, and her pace is a lot slower than mine. So for that reason, it's a lot easier but harder at the same time, because having to go a slower pace is rough on your body for different reasons. But I feel great. I went on a jog today and everything. We've already been jogging and everything because we have the Princess Challenge coming up at the end of February. But yeah, which is only up to a half marathon. It doesn't include a full marathon. So, but thank you for asking very much. Were you there? Did you also do the dopey or anything this marathon weekend? But moving on, the frozen vine. Someone mentioned this earlier. So, frozen vine, let's go ahead and turn this sideways really quick. Frozen vine is a 1/4/2, a 3-cost inkable. When this location is banished, if there was an exerted character here, return this card from your discard to your hand. I really like this card. I do. I'm a sucker for locations to begin with. 3 isn't that expensive either. I think that you could see play in an aggro deck with this card. Now, one of the issues is it's not coming down until turn 4, right? You can't play it on turn 3, because if you play it on turn 3, then you're not getting this card back. It is an expensive card though, right? If you're running this in an aggro deck, you have to have the ink. And I don't know how often aggro decks get up to that much ink where they're going to be consistently playing this on top of other characters. If anything, they're going to be spending their turn playing this and then moving a character to this. So, yes, I agree. It is effectively a 4-cost card. Now, against a control deck, this card will just win you the game. I mean, it's a phenomenal card against a control deck. You go 1-drop, 2-drop, play this on 3 because they can't answer it. And then on turn 4, you play a bunch of cards and move a card into this and then quest. So that's a big deal. Now, even if you play this on turn 3, your opponent has to decide if they're going to go into your characters or go into this. And it doesn't feel bad if they go into this. So you can play it on turn 3 to keep those characters alive to quest even more. Turn 4, you play this. They have to attack your character first. And turn 4, it's kind of hard to get enough on the board. Hey, we got a raid. I really need to change the colors of my stuff here, because we got a raid from Kika Fed Ku. Thank you so much for the raid. Kika raid. Kika Fei something. Hang on, I'll figure it out. Thank you for the raid, though. It means a lot. I hope your stream went really well, and I hope you had fun, whatever it was that you were doing on stream. So, okay, let's see. I'd pair this with some songs for a tempo deck. This with Winterspell. Yes, the new Winterspell song makes it really good. Kika Fed Kue. Is that right? Kue? Right? Kue? I think that's correct. Kika Fed Kue. Let me know if I'm saying it right. I'm terrible with names, by the way. So, yes, you got it. It's Kika. Perfect. Well, thank you. I hope the stream went well. All right. I hope it went really well. So, Frozen Vine, I have a bias towards locations. So my first thought was A tier, but it's not an A tier card. I just really want to put it in A tier because I have a bias towards locations. Realistically, I think it's between B and C. User says C. I'm a big fan of playing Fairy Ship on turn 1 followed by a Calhoun. This could be fun to add in there too. And so Stutchy, that was my first thought, was Amethyst Steel. I love Fairy Ship. It's a great turn 1 card, but there's a big difference between turn 1 and Insoluexion. Thanks for the follow. I appreciate that very much. Thank you so much for the follow and welcome. Mishka says B tier. User says C tier. I'm happy with... Okay. I'm happy with B tier. I am, because I think it's going to be really easy to slot this into your deck, right? Inso is fine. I know my name is long. All right. Well, thank you for the follow. But I'm fine with B tier for this one, because it's going to, if control decks become a big deal, this card is going to be single-handedly decimate control decks. It's going to make it very difficult with them. So with the strength of characters now in days, all locations with less than McDuck mana will power is an F tier. And I can get that as well. Like, but it is inkable, right? So if it is inkable, then you don't need it against those decks, right? But if you're spamming this down, if you're running Amethyst Steel and you throw down this with the new Winterspell card, they can't challenge it, so you're gaining 2 lore there. Maybe B tier is a little high. Maybe it is C tier, but I don't know. Like I said, bias towards locations. All right, hear me out. Tap down control with Genie and Ana with this bad boy. Tap down control. I swear to God, if you're talking about the Genie I think you're talking about, you're not talking about this Genie, are you? Because I hope you're not. The stream made me play this Genie one night, and I had such an awful time. It was not fun. But I think that's the Genie you're talking about. And that makes me mad. But that would, I admit, that would be a lot of fun. It would be fun if you can get it to happen. Nothing untaps, baby. Yes, you're right. Oh, I got to fix my OBS. Because we got nothing with dreams, or Drew with dreams. Hang on. I've got to fix stuff. Okay. Drew with dreams. Thank you for the follow. Thank you very much. Thank you for the follow. I knew I could get it. Okay. Moving on. I like B tier. B tier will work for this card. So red, purple memes. Yeah, we love memes. What time is it? 10:46. Okay, we still have plenty of time. Maybe not to get through all of them. We've only gotten through 2 colors so far. Okay, well, let's talk about Emerald. As much as I don't want to, we've got to talk about Emerald. Minnie Mouse. 2 cost. Inkable. 3/3/1. Hero. It's a black heron, right? Minnie Mouse is a black heron. The 3/3/1. It is a hero, so it could work in red-green with Hercules. So that is something that matters. Black Heron saw next to no play, right? It was not a popular card. The most play we really saw Black Heron was players that really wanted to try and focus on beating the mirror. You saw a lot of people run Black Heron because they really wanted to see a strong turn 2 play. But a 3/3 on turn 2... I think it's C tier, personally. I just don't know. Obvious B tier. I mean, I don't think it was. What was it popular? Maybe it doesn't stick out because it wasn't a card that like made a huge impact against me. So I know I didn't run it in my Amethyst Steel list when I would run Amethyst Steel. But the thing is, it's a 3/3, right? So that it is like, it's a very playable card. And I guess if you're running, it trades well if you're running like a red-green damage deck, a ruby-emerald damage deck. It could trade well if you're running a discard deck and you're trying to get to some of those better discard cards. So lots of aggro players near me. Heron is a staple of purple steel. Okay. I think B tier is appropriate. I think B tier is a very good rating for it. Because at the end of the day, a 3/3 on turn 2 is a great statted card. It challenges Calhoun, challenges Captain Hook and stuff. It's free quest power. It is a skater, so that's awesome. Fun fact, Molly, the wife, is a competitive figure skater. So also, until I was about 31 years old, I thought that figure skates were actually super sharp, like could cut paper sharp. I did not realize that was not the case. Kills Nala on curve. That is very good as well. So, they're very true as well. So, I think B tier is good. And that's true. Emerald does not have a lot of good challengers. So, okay. I hear you. We'll go with B tier. All right, I was wrong. I'll say it. I'll say it to you guys. I'll never say it to Molly, but I'll say it to you guys. All right. So our next card on the table is Goofy, a 4-cost uninkable 4/4/2, an ally and a ghost tribal. Okay, so boost 2, meaning you pay 2 ink to move the top card of your deck underneath Goofy. Okay, when this character is banished, each opponent chooses and discards a card for each card that was under him. So it makes me want to play mat of it. Yes, I can get on board with that. So this is another cool card. Another cool card that enables discard very well. You can do some really cool things with this. You could run this in green-blue, right? So essentially what you could do is something, you could do the 2/4/6 line where you go ramp on 2 into Cinderella on 3, and then you play this on turn 4 and boost it in the same turn. So now they have to deal with this 4/4, the quest for 2, and when they do deal with it, they have to discard 2 cards. No, they have to discard 1 card. So that's pretty good. That's pretty good. Or they could bounce it back to your hand, but then you get to draw a card because you boosted it. So that's pretty good. Oh my gosh, Jeremy. GoPro, yes. That is, I didn't even think about that. Green Steel with Scar because he is an ally. So you get to draw all those cards, and your opponent now has to discard a bunch of cards. That's very true. That's very true. Wow, that's interesting. So, because what you would do is you'd play Goofy on turn 4, Scar on turn 5, turn 6, you boost Goofy and quest with everything, and then you banish the Goofy to draw 6 cards, discard 2, and your opponent discards 1, best case scenario for your opponent. So it is a lot of unink, right? And that's very true. So because the Scar is uninkable, the Goofy's uninkable, the new Mickey Mouse is uninkable, then that's all very true. But that is important, right? That is an important true fact because you're not running things like T-pose that can dig you out of it. In fact, now one thing you can do with green is you can run the new Strike a Good Match that will help you to dig yourself out of an uninkable issue. But yes, I agree. I agree with D tier. Gosh. I agree with A tier for this one. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and that's one of those things. Like, you just keep loading them up, force your opponent into a really bad situation. Like, it's going to force... They can't hold on to anything anymore. Now, if green-blue Prince Phillips you, then they have to bounce this card first before they can Prince Philip combo. So now they have to have all the Prince Philip combo pieces. They have to have all the bounce pieces. They have to have the character that can bounce the card to begin with. So... yeah, 100%. Strike a Good Match is A tier for sure. And we'll get to that one tomorrow. So, let's see. It's a 4/4 quest for 2 guys. Just play it Ask your opponent if he wants to lose his hand. Yeah. Yeah, I agree. Like, this is borderline S tier for me. Because you can just run it in everything, right? And it doesn't feel bad. You could run it in green blue. They discard now. If you ran it in green blue, you'd have to build around that, right? It doesn't really work with the Clarabelle anymore. But I think if you did run this in green blue, maybe you play a different kind of deck with green blue. But you'd run it in green steel, or you could run it in green steel. Donald, yes, double boost. Emily Quackfaster with the double boost. I think this is borderline S tier. I do. It's the closest to S tier of any card that we've seen. So we might come back to this one, but we'll leave them in a very high A tier for now. So White Rabbit. White Rabbit is a 2-cost inkable, 2/2/1. The only other underdog we've seen so far. I do not believe we've seen any of the other underdogs. If this is your first turn and you're not the first player, you may pay 1 less to play this character. And evasive. Only characters with evasive can challenge this character, of course. So anytime I see evasive, it is a little bit exciting because they've started to go away from evasive. They're not giving everything evasive anymore because we have alert. So evasive is a big deal. It works with, things like Dumbo, right? It works with Dumbo, so that's a big deal. The problem is what does this on turn 1 already? Pegasus. Pegasus does this on turn 1 already, and you don't need to be on the draw. Now, this is a 2/2, so it doesn't get cleared by Malicious, Mean, and Scary, but it still gets cleared by every alert character, every evasive character in the game. So Enchanted Table says Goofy is B tier, fighting words, with a lot of people in the chat there, Enchanted Table. So replaces Pegasus on the draw, but better. Goons with evasive is fine, not great. Yeah. If I'm running this in a deck, it's typically because it's an aggro type deck, right? Green, purple, burn, green, yellow dogs. And I can just play Pegasus, right? I'd rather just play the 1-drop instead of having this card on turn 2 that's just not great. I'm leaning towards C tier for this one. Only because I think Pegasus just does it better. Like every day of the week. So MTG says C tier. Drew with Demon says B or C tier. I wish the underdog ability wasn't limited to your first turn. I mean, it kind of has to be though, right? And that's like we see what they were trying to do. They're trying to help with the play draw disparity, and this is how you do it. So, except White Rabbit's underdog ability, or the card as an underdog, is very meh. Whereas you look at Angel, that card with underdog is a really big deal. I also wonder if all the underdog abilities will be 2/2s, like 2/2/1s, if that's what be their stat lines. But I'm gonna go with C tier for this one. So I just want to play Pegasus more. That's all. That's all it would be. Is I just think Pegasus does it better. Okay. Todd. I love Fox and the Hound. So sad. Okay. Yeah, he's D tier because are you hard mulliganing for this card if you go second? And if you do, you have to run 4. True. And that's very true as well. This is never a card that I'm probably going to hard alter for. So okay. Do you think Max Goof Chart Topper is going to be more played? Max Goof Chart Topper. Is that the name of the Emerald one? The Emerald Legendary? Is it Chart Topper? Oh, it is. We'll talk about that one. Okay. Todd. Todd is the Playful Kit. It is a 4-cost inkable 2/4/2 Whenever this character quests, choose 1, gain 1 lore. Chosen character of yours gains evasive until the start of your next turn. It is a hero. It's expensive. It has a bad stat line. It can give itself evasive, though, so it's kind of like a genie. So that's a thing. Oh, but you gain 3 lore. You can gain 3 lore. Well, that's interesting because you gain. So when this card quests, it essentially says it can quest for 3. Or you can give yourself evasive. Or you can give another character evasive to challenge into an evasive. It works with Dumbo because you're giving it evasive. So that's a big deal. B tier? I think it can be B tier. The fact that it can aggro pretty well, it can gain evasive, it works with Dumbo, it quests for 3. Kind of. I'm on board with B tier for this one. It's not A tier, but it's close. Yes, if this was beginning of turn, that'd be different. Like, well, I don't think beginning of turn matters a whole lot. Right? I don't know if that changes anything. But if this was like when you play this card and it quests, that would change everything. No, it wouldn't. Yeah, it would. When you play this character or quest, that would change everything because you give something evasive the turn you play it. So, Max Goof Chart Topper, I don't know if it will. I don't know. Have we seen enough songs to make Max Goof Chart Topper something that people want to run a lot of, right? That would be my question, is how have we seen enough songs for it? So if you're asking because you don't own a playset yet, I think Max Goof Chart Topper is a really good card to own a playset of because his ability is so unique and can anything that has to do with draw or songs generally finds a way to see the light of day. So I think it does because you can instantly give a character evasive. So you could, yes, and then maybe you don't quest Todd, right? So because at the start of your turn, maybe you give something evasive immediately and you don't, and you're not forced to quest Todd. So maybe at the start of your turn, it does change a little bit of stuff. So, but I like B tier. I think B tier for Todd is good. Great artwork as well. So really liking that. Okay. Mickey Mouse. Maybe a little bias on this one. So you guys feel free to give me your opinion because I think Mickey Mouse is just wacky. Like I love this Mickey Mouse. I love the ways that you can just completely abuse the crap out of this card. I think this card is crazy. And I think it's immediately an A tier card. Yes, I know. So first off, 6 cost uninkable. It is a 4/6/2. When you play this character and when he leaves play, each opponent chooses and discards a card. You can play Mickey Mouse. Your opponent discards a card. You sing with Mickey Mouse, Mother Knows Best on Mickey Mouse to bounce Mickey Mouse to your hand. Your opponent discards a card. And then you replay Mickey Mouse. And your opponent discards another card. So you can do some wackadoodle stuff with this card. So if we had Bibbidi Bobbidi still in play, this card would be busted. I don't even remember what Bibbidi Bobbidi does. Or did. Oh, yeah. Oh, gosh, that would be nasty. So, oh, God, that would be awful. So, I love Mickey Mouse, though. I think it's great in green-blue. You go turn 2 ramp, turn 3 Cindy, turn 4 you play Mickey Mouse. It has a great body with a 4 attack, 6 willpower stat line. It quests for 2. And you can make your opponent discard a bunch of cards. And I hate this card, and I think it's really good. I think it is an A tier card. And let me know if anyone disagrees with me. I know a lot of people don't like it because it's so uninkable. And I can get that, right? I can understand that you don't like it because it is uninkable and it's a high cost card. So there is that. But I just think he's so good with what he's able to do. Like, that's a lot. That's a lot. 4/6/2 and a great ability. And it's an enter the play and exit play ability. I mean, it works even if they Hades it. Like, that's just it. It's not banished when it leaves play. So if your opponent Hades this, let it go into the unknown, they still discard a card. Like, this card's dumb. I do not like seeing Mickey Mouse. So, all right. I'm going with A tier though. GoPro Steven agrees with me as well. So, next up we have Donald Duck, a legendary for Emerald. This card is pretty wild. Also, there's some really cool synergies you can do with it as well. It is a 4-cost inkable, a 4/4/1. It is an ally. Does work with Scar, so ally synergy there. Spirit of Giving. Whenever you use the boost ability of a character, you may put the top card of your deck under them face down. During opponent's turns, whenever one of your characters is banished, you may draw a card for each card that was under them. Well, shucks. Donald, you are annoying. You are very, very annoying for a lot of different reasons, because you just make cards go from really good to really, really good. And one of my favorites, Genie. Yeah, exactly. Lorcana Spins, what's going on, brother? How you doing, man? Good showing this past weekend, by the way. I know you didn't win at all, but really good showing, man. That was good. So I enjoyed your Instagram updates throughout the day, especially getting your team to like do the thumbs up, thumbs down thing. I think that was pretty cool and pretty unique, man. So, Donald is the gift giver. So, yeah, it can just do some crazy things. It puts a card, you boost Genie for 1, then you play, like, Donald Duck puts a card underneath him. So now he gets 2 cards underneath him. So Genie's questing for 3 now. And when they banish Genie, you then get to draw 2 cards. And God help you if you're not able to banish Genie or Donald, because now they're going to do it again, and Genie's now going to quest for 5. And if you banish Genie, then they get to draw 4 cards. Like, disgusting. Do it with Donald Duck. You discard your entire hand, and I draw a whole bunch of cards. Like, Donald Duck is really good. Really big fan of it. Really annoying card. That's generally how I feel about Emerald cards, though. I'm never happy to see a good Emerald card. Like, Emerald cards are just so toxic. Okay, they're so toxic. So, no. Stutchy, are you talking? No, there are not any. I do not believe so, at least. Let's check. Emerald. Nope, not legality. All right. Oh, yes. So Goofy Emerald Champion gives ward. Oh, and the other Goofy gives ward. Your other Emerald characters gain ward. So there are 2 characters that give other characters ward. Floodborn characters gain ward. So just those 2. Yep. So Emerald Champion. Wait, those are both Emerald Champion. Where's the other Goofy? Isn't there another Goofy? Yeah, ship. Yep, Expert Shipwright. Yep. So, yep, you guys had it. You didn't even need Dreamborn like I did. So, yeah. So you can just do a really good job of. So to protect Genie, you'd have to use Goofy Expert Shipwright. To protect Donald, you could use Goofy Emerald Champion. Thanks, friend. It was definitely. Oh, wait. congratulations on your kid. Also, by the way, for everybody who didn't know, Lorcana Spins has a newborn. So the fact that he's watching Twitch right now is rather impressive, and his wife must be asleep. So congratulations on your newborn. I'm sorry. I already forgot the name of your newborn. Let's see if I can look it up before you say it in the chat. So hang on. We're going to... Hang on. We got this. Oh, no. It's not on your Instagram story anymore. It was you, right? Now I'm going to feel really stupid. But I'm pretty sure it was you, right? Right? Moving on. You'll let me know in the chat. Okay. Donald Duck, A tier. I'm going with A tier. Okay, good. It was you. All right. So does that make you a proud father of 4 now, or did you already update your Instagram to be proud father of 3? So, but Donald Duck, A tier. Yes, it's a very good card, but I don't know if you don't play this card, and then all of a sudden it makes your deck super good. Like these boost cards were already really good without Donald. So on his own, he's not a perfect card, so I don't think you can call him an S tier card. Let me know if you guys disagree, but I like A tier. So, okay. Snowball Fight. Snowball Fight is a 2-cost. Okay. Done at 3. All right. 2-cost inkable action. Each opponent chooses and discards a card. If you have a character with evasive in play, gain 1 lore. So, okay. So some good discard. Some good lore gain. You play this on Curse Merfolk on turn 1. Pegasus on turn 2 with another 1-drop. Turn 3, you play this and another 1-drop maybe. It's not A tier. Is this a C tier? I think this is a C tier card. I think it could see fringe play in some of those green-purple burn decks, or just green in Emerald aggro deck with Curse Merfolk in general. Curse Merfolk, they discard a card. You play this, they discard a card. If you gain 1 lore, that's really nice. It's an annoying gathering, but worse. I agree. Like, I'd still rather just play Gathering. I think C tier is fine, though. I see a lot of people that run the family card where they gain 1 lore. Now, part of the reason they run that, though, is because they get to draw a card also. What is it? This is my family. Gain 1 lore and draw a card. And it is a song. So, but yeah, I like C tier. I think C tier is appropriate. It's not unplayable. Like, people will put this in their aggro decks. Because there's a good chance it's going to gain you 1 lore, and making your opponent discard after taking out a Cursed Merfolk does feel good as well. All right. Freeze the Vine. Okay, so Freeze the Vine. This card irritates me. So 4-cost, inkable, banish all locations, draw 2 cards, then choose and discard a card. So the reason this bugs me is because Green-Blue had this amazing board clear. I don't know if you guys knew about it. It was, but it was attached to a body that was 6/6/3 and evasive. Prince Philip, right? Amazing board clear. At our meta, we have a player that loves location decks. Green-Blue has a hard time dealing with those locations, and it's a great way. So we have the new Vine location that's questing for 2. A lot of location love this set. And then they give Emerald a card that banishes all locations. So now they have a great way to answer those locations. They have a great way to answer your board. And on top of that, this card can help unbrick them. Really? So this card is very annoying for me. User thinks the tier list looks perfect. I'm doing something right. But yeah, this card is really annoying to me. Now the thing is, you never run 4 of this card. Like, I think if you run it, you'd run 2 max. Like, and honestly, if you run it, it's probably, I think you'd run 2 max if locations became a thing. If locations became really popular, then you're like, okay, I want to have 2 of these. But I think it's 2 max, and maybe even just 1, kind of like a bend to my will kind of thing. But it's just good. It unbricks you. It filters your hand. It banishes all locations, which green blue cannot deal with locations very well. I think it's a B tier card. It's going to see play of that, I'm certain. But again, it's not something you're putting 4 of in your deck. Like a turn 4 draw 2 isn't all that great. So Lorcana spins, yeah. Essentially, they can wipe everything now. Exactly. So I like B tier for it, though. But all right. How many are there? Oh, there's so many left. Okay. I think we're going to call it there. With that being said, I think we're going to call it there tonight. It's been a little bit since I've done a lot of talking on stream, and if you guys haven't noticed, I keep losing my voice. So we'll call it there tonight because it is 11:15 for me, and I do have to get up at 5. So I'm going to go ahead and get a little bit of sleep. But this is where we're at so far. No S tier cards. I think the closest thing to S tier is Genie. And a lot of people really liked Goofy. So I think there's some people that would definitely like to see Goofy in S tier. Amber, nothing close to S tier for me yet. But yeah, I think we're doing good so far. So the next one will be we'll just start playing catch up, essentially. We'll start doing quite a few of these. In the Discord, I thought, I suggested that we do these twice a week. So while we're doing reveal season, I'm going to be streaming 3 times a week minimum. Tuesday will be ranking reveals. Wednesday will be gameplay. And then Thursday will be ranking more reveals. Unless people just really wanted to get through ranking reveals. And if that was the case, then I'm perfectly fine with that. I'll just have my water with me. So, but I want to catch up to where we're at on reveals. So I can't stream tomorrow night because I'll be at locals, but maybe Saturday and Sunday night we can catch up on reveals and everything. Oh, Ian McDonald did this card. I've seen that artist do something else. I can't think of it off the top of my head, but the name's very familiar. But yes. So I really enjoy doing these ranking tiers with you guys when you guys are here. So thank you for chilling out while we did it, because yeah, I think it's a lot of fun doing it this way versus doing it for a YouTube video and doing it by myself. So thank you. But let's raid someone. I really appreciate all the follows. The subs was amazing. Thank you so much for choosing me to give your prime sub to. That's awesome. Like, yes, so just thank you. So we've got the Rue Guru Amethyst Steel Practice. We've got Malferon, which is attempting to build decks. I'm not going to be doing a lot of deck theory crafting yet because I want to see more reveals. But then again, maybe I will. I don't know. We'll figure it all out. But I don't know who the Rue Guru is. So we're gonna show Rue Guru some love. He's got 4 viewers. I know most of my viewers are on YouTube, but for those that are here, let's show him some love. Jump over there. He's got a good overlay. So let's show some love. Appreciate you, Jeremy. It was fun talking football with you. I guess if the Broncos don't make it to the Super Bowl, I'll cheer with you for the Seahawks. How about that? But let's show some love. I'm in the wrong thing to actually be able to show some love. So give me just a second. We're going to jump over there. We're going to raid. Manage stream. Raid channel. Same category. The Rougarou. And start raid. Sweet. Awesome, Oz. Have a good night, man. I appreciate you, brother. Thanks for being here. And let's jump in there. Everybody else, stay happy and healthy, right? That's what matters more than anything else. If you're on the East Coast and I don't see you before I stream again, stay safe out there, okay? Stay safe in all the weather. I'll be braving it with you. Shoveling snow in my sandals. So, but let's do some raiding. Let's show some love. Stay happy and healthy, guys.